when they're going to be? Well, experiences around the country that the council has no power, right? 2014 local government act basically took away all power from councillors. It's all decided by what I call him, Roderick O'Corman, the kind of Department for Equality, Integration, all that there. He doesn't give a damn. Do you see how happy he was? As only a gay man can be happy when he's told about all the young single men coming into Ireland. It was like Christmas was coming early to him, I know. But they do not give a single damn about the people of Ireland. Look what's happened in Tipperary there during the week, where a hostel for 74 Irish homeless men are being kicked out in the street to make room for foreigners, right? Now we see there in Wicklow, small wee rural village, fraction the size of Cootehill, population of 100, they're imposing 950 people, economic migrants, on a tiny wee village. And I can hear from all around the country, in the middle of nowhere, they're putting in there's big houses, they're moving in 40 men into these big houses in the middle of nowhere. So the government are gung-ho, is what I said before. It is a second plantation of Ireland, right? It is a pivotal moment in the history of our country and our really culture and civilization. When we say a second plantation, it was Mary McAleese used the phrase first, that the plantation now is higher in percentage and higher in numbers than the plantation of Ulster, 4 centuries ago. And look at the trouble we had with people who were white, European, Christian, actually even Gaelic. And look at the trouble we had just because of the minor differences. Think of the differences that we're going to have with people coming from Afghanistan and Iraq and Pakistan, and they're Muslims, and their attitude, especially towards women, is completely and utterly different towards what we have here in Ireland. So the place is going to become, if you look at places in Germany, in Sweden, in France, and in Italy, large, uncontrolled, unvetted immigration leads to the increase in crime, in sexual assault, in the cost to yourselves. We can see it's going to lead to huge increase. Well, there is already a huge increase in technical homelessness in Ireland. Is there about 500,000 young people under 35 are now living with their parents? Mm-hmm. Like, I was out in Lifford there 2 weeks ago, and I was up and met these two couples in 2 different houses. Couples, late 20s, early 30s, been in the housing list for 10 years. Can I get a house? And yet, they're sitting in, renting a place as best they can, and someone from, I don't know, wherever, Georgia, Albania, wherever it is, are moved up and given a free house just up the road. And they must be thinking themselves, what's the advantage of being Irish in Ireland? I thought the Irish state was for the benefit of Irish people, that the resources of Ireland surely should be for the benefit of Irish people. But at the minute, they're being hoofed off to people from here, there, and everywhere. And as I see it, that the only thing that will change the state, well, not the only thing, but the most peaceful means of achieving a better Ireland is that politicians understand one thing really, which is take votes off them or money off them and let them know. See, they're making noises now. They can see that there's a change in beliefs of public about immigration, that issue. They can see there's a big change that's going on in the last 2 years. So they're moving over and they're making noises. But the problem is, would you believe people who have lied through their teeth to over all these years? These people are ideologically committed because they're obviously been happy to allow mass immigration into our country for the last number of years. And just have a look at the demographic change that has taken place. So 2022, there was 237,000 PPS numbers given to non-Irish nationals in 1 year, right? Could you imagine 4 years of that or 5 years of that? And I'm not saying all those people are going to reside, but if even half of them decided, I want to stay in Ireland, so that's 500,000 people. That's half a million people. And already, if you look at the stats, I was doing for an article there recently, the population of Ireland in 1995 was 3.6 million people. It's currently 5.1. So it's gone up by 1.5 million people in less than 30 years. So, like, I'm going around the country, Castlebar, Sligo, Donegal, Ballybofey, wherever, and give an example. Like 2 weeks ago, I was in Drogheda campaigning, launched the campaign because I'm running as a MEP candidate, and less than half the people walking there in Drogheda were Irish. I think, what's the use of campaigning here? So these people don't have a vote. Like, they're not Irish, clearly. So the huge demographic change in Ireland is, do you know what? We have a lot of work to do. I would just urge people to make sure that they're registered to vote, to find a party. Well, you know, the Irish Freedom Party, right? To register to vote. Tell everybody else you know, your family and your friends, to register to vote, and make sure you turn up on the day and that you vote. Now, of course, no one gets prizes for thinking who I'm going to suggest that you vote for, but like, the only thing they understand is votes and money. So you got to take it off them, and you got to show these people, unless you do what we say, we're going to kick you out on the street. These politicians are the only thing they understand. And you know what? But things are getting very serious. So you have to tell your kids and your family and your friends. That's the only thing that people are convinced by, is people that they know, people that they trust. Because they don't trust people, these people that they see on the Late Late Show on a Friday night. People, speak to people that you know, people who trust you, and you've got to convince them one by one that our country is under severe attack, and now is the time to get organised and to strike, because these politicians, they have to understand. Well, what's that phrase by Marx Brothers? Oh yeah, politicians are like nappies. They have to be changed often and for the same reason. So I'll leave you with that. So thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. And you know what? Fair play, as I said, week 40 for the people of Cootehill. It must be the most persistent and best group in the country, because I'm not aware of any other group that has been here every weekend, week out for 40 weeks. Well, so fair play to you. Yeah, I'm disgusted by that.
Yeah, that's a disgrace.
Yeah.
But because the local elections and the European elections are going to be on at the same time,
yeah.
Are they going to be like the European?
Well, Teresa's your mother, isn't she? Yeah. Yeah, we were just speaking to her earlier there about people like, you got to get together as a group and put forward a candidate that you know and you trust and know that will stand up for you, for your community, for the values, what you want, what you need. Put them forward and get them elected. And it's about, like, it's not bums and seats. It's getting around the houses, getting the leaflets in, talking to people, and convincing them to vote for your candidate. Otherwise, the establishment, they have got all the media, they've got all the newspapers. You have your experience of what it's like interacting with these newspapers. You have the TV, the radio, they're all sewn up. It's very hard to say. You used to say, oh, you got a ground war, air war, and the media and the people. For us, we have no establishment support, right? That's the bottom line. So it's all ground war, it's all talking to people, convincing people, letting them see you. So, Hughes number 1. Vote early, vote often. Vote early, vote often in Cootehill. Hey! Here, let's have a few words from the.
Yeah.
No, just you can sit down.
I've been here 40 weeks, and we're getting great support from some of the people in Cootehill. But I have just decided today, talking to Hermann, that I'm going to go up as a
candidate in the local
election. I love him, yeah. And I'll do my best, boys. I'll do my best. and there'll be no nonsense, and there'll be no bluffing or anything like that. I intend to try and get everyone to come on our side. I intend to help the people in Cootehill. I'm here 54 years now, and I love Cootehill. I loved all about it. I love the people, but I know there's a lot of people that doesn't want to bother, to think, oh, we don't need each other. We need each other so much. That's the main thing. We need each other. And we don't need a whole lot of other people coming in that we don't know, strangers. We need to be looking after our people in Cootehill and people around and our family and all like that. We definitely don't need to be looking after people that we don't know. We'll help everybody that comes into the town if they're fair with us. But if they're not fair with us, you can't expect us to help them. And there's no way that there's no way that we could deal with 100 men that we don't know, strangers, going up and down the town, and everybody saying, oh, I wonder where he's going, what is he doing, all that. It'll leave you far too nervous. If they've never done anything on you, the fact that they're here is going to make us all nervous anyway. Well, I wouldn't be nervous, but people will be nervous. And like they're supposed to be coming down, which I didn't mind saying, they're supposed to be coming down beside our houses out at Corbeil. And some of the ones that wouldn't come in here, they wouldn't be seen here because they think we're a different breed. We're all the bloody same breed. We're all from Cootehill. So I don't know why they would think for 1 minute that anything different. We're no different, really. And they didn't come in to kind of support us. But their houses are going to be in trouble, just the same as every other house in the town and every other person. It doesn't matter where you live. You need help from your neighbours and friends, and that's what life's all about. And we don't need an awful lot of other men and people coming into this town, you know, because it's a small town. It couldn't support them anyway. The doctors, even the priest. Well, I had the priest on Friday night at Mass in my own house, and even the priest from Bellaborough was saying, but we couldn't have a whole lot of... Bellaborough is destroyed. Bellaborough is fighting a losing battle too, and nobody seems to be that interested, because they had a few meetings all right, and then it just kind of died off. But still, they're going to be in trouble. But, like, you know what I mean? Like him himself, now, wasn't he, Francis, Friday night, he was saying, like, about, you know, that's the way it is. We have to try and work together, and Monaghan and every town. Every town is important to each other. I don't know why people think that because you're in a certain area, you live in a certain place, that you're any different than anyone else. You're not. You need your neighbours, you need your friends, you need the town. We need safety. We need to be able to let our children out, not to be running after them all. They used to disappear in the morning and I wouldn't see them till late at night. For God's sake, if you mothers and fathers can't do the same thing for your small children now, sure, that is ridiculous. Sure, it's babysitting them. You should lead grannies and great grannies in to babysit them at the way it's going now. So anyway, I intend to go up and do my best and...
There you go, everybody in Cootehill. Vote every hen. Teresa Hughes. There we go. Build a bus.